The medical bay of the human ship Pathfinder was quiet that morning. Dr. Hak-Su checked his supplies and equipment as he did at the start of every shift. The routine gave him comfort as the ship moved through the unknown parts of space. Dr. Hak-Su to the bridge, please. Dr. Hak-Su to the bridge. The voice over the speaker made him look up from his inventory list. Calls to the bridge were rare during peaceful missions. He put down his tablet and walked quickly through the corridors of the ship. Captain Jin-Ho stood by the main viewing screen when Hak-Su arrived. The captain's face was serious but excited. "Doctor, good timing. Look at this." Jin-Ho pointed to the screen showing a small moon orbiting a gas giant. "We've detected unusual energy readings from that moon. It's not natural." Hak-Su studied the readings. "You think someone lives there?" "That's what we need to find out. I'm sending a small team to check. I want you to go with them. If there is life, we'll need a medical expert." Hak-Su nodded. After 5 years on exploration missions, this would be his first potential contact with alien life. His heart beat faster at the thought. 2 hours later, Hak-Su sat in the small landing craft with security officer Dae-Young and communications specialist Bo-Ra. Dae-Young was calm and alert, his hand resting near his weapon. Bo-Ra checked her translation equipment one last time. "Entering the moon's atmosphere now," the pilot announced. "Sensors show breathable air and safe gravity levels. Temperature is cool but comfortable." The craft landed on a flat area of rock. Through the windows, they could see a landscape of gray stone under a dark purple sky. The gas giant loomed large on the horizon, casting an eerie glow. "No signs of life on scanners," Bo-Ra said, looking at her equipment. "Stay alert anyway," Dae-Young replied. "Scanners don't catch everything." The team put on light environmental suits as a precaution and stepped onto the moon's surface. Hak-Su carried his medical kit, though he wondered what use human medicine would be if they met aliens. They walked for 20 minutes, following the energy readings. The landscape was bare except for some low, twisted plants that looked more like stone than living things. Then as they rounded a large rock formation, they saw it. A structure stood before them, clearly built by intelligent hands. It was low and wide, made of a shiny blue-gray material that seemed to absorb the light around it. No windows were visible, but a flat section in the center looked like it might be a door. "This is definitely not natural," Bo-Ra whispered, though there was no need to be quiet. "I'm reporting to the ship," Dae-Young said, speaking into his communicator. "Captain, we found a structure, appears artificial, requesting instructions." As they waited for a response, the flat section of the structure suddenly slid open. The team froze, weapons half raised as a figure emerged. The being that stepped out was tall and thin, at least a head taller than Dae-Young, who was the tallest of the humans. Its skin was a pale blue and seemed almost transparent, showing darker shapes moving beneath. It had 2 arms, 2 legs, and a head similar to a human's basic form, but the similarity ended there. The head had no hair, just smooth blue skin with 3 large eyes set in a triangle pattern. Where a human would have a nose, it had only small slits, and its mouth was a narrow line. "Unknown beings, identify yourselves." The creature spoke in a high, musical voice. Somehow the words came through in understandable language. Bo-Ra stepped forward cautiously. "We are humans from the exploration vessel Pathfinder. We come in peace and friendship." The alien tilted its head. "Humans, we have no record of your species. I am Dr. Nara of the Talon Research Outpost. Why have you come to our facility?" "We detected energy from your outpost and came to investigate," Bo-Ra explained. "We are explorers, seeking knowledge and peaceful contact with other intelligent species." As they spoke, more Talons emerged from the structure. One of them carried what looked like a scientific instrument. Another held something that Dae-Young immediately recognized as a weapon. "We mean no harm," Hak-Su said, stepping forward beside Bo-Ra. "I am a medical doctor. If possible, we would like to learn about your people." Dr. Nara seemed to consider this. "You may enter for brief discussions, but we must scan you first for safety." The Talon with the scientific instrument approached and raised it toward the humans. Dae-Young tensed, his training making him wary of unknown technology pointed at his team. It's just a scanner, the Talon said, noticing his reaction. Let them scan us, Haksu told Dae-young quietly. Show we're trustworthy. The security officer nodded but didn't relax. The Talon moved the scanner over Bo-Ra first, then Haksu. When he approached Dae-young, the device made a sharp beeping sound. It detects metal, the Talon said, pointing at Dae-young's weapon. It's for protection only, Dae-young explained. Standard procedure for exploration teams. The Talon guard with the weapon suddenly stepped forward. You must leave it outside. I can't do that, Dae-young replied firmly. I'm responsible for the team's safety. The tension in the air grew. The Talon guard moved closer, its weapon, now clearly pointed at Dae-young. Lower your devices, Dr. Nara ordered both the scanner operator and the guard. We can discuss this calmly. But either the guard didn't hear or chose to ignore the order. It moved quickly toward Dae-young, reaching for his weapon. The human security officer reacted on instinct, stepping back and raising his hands defensively. The Talon guard misinterpreted the movement as aggression. In one swift motion, it thrust forward with its weapon, a long, thin spike that glowed with energy. Everything happened too fast for anyone to stop it. The spike pierced through Dae-young's environmental suit and into his chest, going completely through and out his back. Dae-young's eyes widened in shock. He looked down at the glowing spike protruding from his chest, then up at the Talon guard, who seemed just as surprised by the sudden violence. No! Haksu shouted, rushing forward as the Talon withdrew its weapon. Dae-young collapsed to his knees, blood already soaking his suit. The spike had missed his heart by centimeters but had clearly punctured his left lung. Stand back, Haksu ordered everyone as he knelt beside his crewmate. He tore open the environmental suit to assess the damage. Air hissed from Dae-young's chest wound with each labored breath, a sure sign of a collapsed lung. Dr. Nara moved beside him, her three eyes wide. I am also a doctor. Let me help. Bring him inside, another Talon said. Our medical bay is close. Together, Haksu and the Talons carefully lifted Dae-young and carried him into the structure. As they rushed through the corridors, Dr. Nara spoke quietly to Haksu. The wound is fatal, she said with what sounded like genuine regret. The spike pierced vital organs. In our species, such damage cannot be repaired. Haksu's face was grim, but determined. We'll see about that. Humans are hard to kill. They reached the Talon medical bay, a room filled with strange equipment that Haksu had no time to admire. All his focus was on saving Dae-young, whose face had gone pale from blood loss and shock. As Bo-Ra frantically called the Pathfinder to report the incident, Haksu began to work, his hands steady despite the chaos around him. Dr. Nara watched, certain she was witnessing the final moments of an alien visitor whose first contact with her people had turned deadly. The Talon medical bay hummed with strange machines. Dr. Haksu worked quickly, his hands steady despite the danger Dae-young was in. Blood covered the front of the security officer's uniform. Each breath made a terrible whistling sound as air leaked from his damaged lung. I need to seal the wound and reinflate his lung, Haksu said, opening his medical kit. Can you understand his vital signs on your equipment? Dr. Nara stood beside him, her three eyes blinking in sequence. Yes, his heart rate is very fast, blood pressure dropping, body temperature higher than our normal range. That's fever. Normal human response to trauma, Haksu explained as he cut away Dae-young's uniform. The wound was clean but serious, a hole straight through his chest that missed his heart, but damaged his left lung badly. In our species, such a wound means death, Dr. Nara said quietly. The body would shut down within minutes. Haksu didn't look up from his work. Humans are built differently. He pulled out a small device from his kit and pressed it to the edges of Dae-young's wound. The device hummed, sealing the entry wound with a medical foam that stopped the bleeding and prevented more air from entering the chest cavity. Bo-Ra, help me turn him. Haksu called to the communications specialist who had been speaking urgently into her communicator. Together, they carefully turned Dae-young onto his side. Haksu repeated the process on the exit wound on Dae-young's back. Then he took out another device, a thin needle attached to a small pump. What is that? Dr. Nara. asked, moving closer to watch. Chest tube. I need to remove the air trapped in his chest and reinflate his lung. Hak-Soo carefully inserted the needle between Dae-Young's ribs. The pump activated automatically, drawing out the trapped air with a soft hissing sound. The effect was almost immediate. Dae-Young's breathing became less labored, though he remained unconscious. The Pathfinder is sending a medical team, Bo-Ra reported, but they'll need 2 hours to reach us. He'll be stable by then, Hak-Soo said with quiet confidence. He injected Dae-Young with medications from his kit, one to fight infection, another to help with blood clotting, and a third to manage pain when he woke up. Dr. Nara watched all of this with growing amazement. You carry such advanced tools in that small kit, and you expect him to survive? Of course, Hak-Soo replied, finally looking up at her. This is serious but treatable. Humans have recovered from much worse. The Talon doctor moved to her computer console and pressed several buttons. A screen lit up, showing data that Hak-Soo couldn't read. I'm scanning his body's response to the injury. May I share the data with you? Please, Hak-Soo said, now monitoring Dae-Young's vital signs with his own equipment. Dr. Nara's voice took on a tone of scientific wonder. His blood cells are multiplying at an extraordinary rate. The damaged tissues are already showing signs of repair. And these white cells, they're converging on the wound site in organized patterns. That's the normal human immune response, Hak-Soo explained. White blood cells fight infection. Others begin the healing process. The body sends more blood to damaged areas. But the speed. Dr. Nara's fingers moved over the screen, tracking the changes. In my species, cellular regeneration is much slower. A punctured lung would never heal properly. For the next hour, the two doctors worked side by side. As Dae-Young's condition stabilized, Hak-Soo had time to observe the Talon equipment. Some of it was familiar in purpose, but advanced in design. Other machines were completely strange to him. Your species, the Talons, you're not from this moon, are you? He asked as he checked Dae-Young's temperature. Dr. Nara turned from her console. No, our homeworld is many light years from here. This is a research outpost to study this sector of space. We've been here for 20 of your Earth years. How do you know about Earth years? We've intercepted your transmissions for some time, radio signals, television broadcasts. We learned your languages but had no direct contact until today. The alien doctor paused. I regret that our first meeting involved violence. The guard overreacted. So did Dae-Young, Hak-Soo said fairly. First contact is always difficult. A soft groan from the table interrupted their conversation. Dae-Young's eyes fluttered open, unfocused at first. He tried to sit up but winced in pain. Stay still, Hak-Soo ordered, gently pushing him back down. You've been seriously injured. What happened? Dae-Young's voice was weak. You were stabbed. Through the chest. Your left lung collapsed. I've stabilized you, but you need to rest. Dr. Nara stepped into Dae-Young's view. The security officer tensed, then relaxed when he saw she carried no weapons. I apologize for my guard's actions, she said. There was no order to attack you. Dae-Young nodded weakly. No harm. Well, some harm done. Despite his pain, he attempted. A small smile. Dr. Nara tilted her head, a gesture Hak-Soo was beginning to recognize as surprise. You can joke about this, you nearly died. Humans use humor to cope with stress, Bo-Ra explained from where she stood near the door. It's common. Fascinating, Dr. Nara said. She turned to her console again, pressed more buttons and studied the results. Your vital signs are growing stronger already. Your body is adapting to the injury. How long until I can get back to the ship? Dae-Young asked Hak-Soo. At least a day of rest here first. Then we'll see. The rescue team will be here soon with better equipment. Dr. Nara suddenly made a musical sound that might have been a gasp. This is remarkable, look at this scan. Hak-Soo moved to her side and studied the screen. It showed a detailed image of Dae-Young's chest, with the damaged areas highlighted in red. What surprised him was how much of the area had already changed from bright red to a softer pink, the beginning stages of healing. Is this unusual for humans? Dr. Nara asked. The speed is impressive but not unheard of, Hak-Su replied. Strong, healthy humans can heal quickly, especially with proper medical care. In my species, such wounds would be permanent. We would survive only with mechanical assistance for the rest of our lives. Dr. Nara's voice held a mixture of envy and admiration. Your species must have evolved in a very dangerous environment to develop such recovery abilities. Earth has its challenges, Hak-Su agreed. Our bodies had to become good at repairing themselves. As they spoke, Bo-Ra's communicator beeped. The captain wants an update, she said. Tell him Dae-Young is stable and will recover, Hak-Su said, confidently. And ask if he's spoken with the Talon leadership yet. Bo-Ra nodded and stepped out of the room to make her report. Dr. Nara moved closer to Dae-Young, scanning him with another handheld device. Your pain levels are high, but you hide it well. We have medications that might help. Our physiologies are different, Hak-Su cautioned. Human drugs are specifically designed for human biology. Of course. I wouldn't administer anything without testing first. Dr. Nara set down her scanner. But I would like to take small samples, blood, tissue, to study if you permit it. Your healing abilities could teach us much. Dae-Young looked at Hak-Su, who nodded slightly. A few small samples would be acceptable with proper consent and safety protocols. Thank you, Dr. Nara said. This could be the beginning of a valuable scientific exchange between our peoples. Outside the medical bay, they could hear more voices, human and Talon. The rescue team had arrived sooner than expected. As new medical personnel entered the room, Dr. Nara stepped back, watching as the humans efficiently prepared Dae-Young for transport. Her 3 eyes blinked in that sequential pattern again, her transparent skin showing the faster movement of fluids beneath, a sign of excitement, Hak-Su guessed. Before you leave, she said to Hak-Su, would you consider coming back? Not just for your injured colleague, but to continue our discussion? I have many questions about human physiology. Hak-Su smiled. I'd like that. I have just as many questions. About Talons. What had begun as a disastrous first contact was transforming into something else. The first steps of understanding between 2 very different species. 3 days had passed since the accident. The humans had not returned to their ship as planned. Instead, Captain Jin Ho and the Talon leader had agreed to use this unexpected first contact as a chance for both species to learn from each other. Dr. Nara had barely left her medical lab during this time. She moved between her computer screens and Dae-Young's bed, recording every small change in his condition. The human security officer was now sitting up, eating normal food, and talking with the other humans and Talons who came to visit. This is impossible, Dr. Nara said as she studied the latest scan of Dae-Young's chest. The wound has already closed on both sides. The lung tissue is repairing itself. In just 3 days. Dae-Young smiled at her amazement. Dr. Hak-Su says, I'm healing at a normal rate, nothing special. For your species, perhaps. Dr. Nara's 3 eyes blinked in sequence. A gesture the humans now understood showed strong emotion. For us, this would take months if it happened at all. Bo-Ra sat nearby recording everything for the human ship's records. She had been working with the Talons to improve communication between the 2 species. Dr. Nara, would you explain more about Talon physiology? Why don't you heal as quickly? The alien doctor set down her scanner and sat in a chair near Dae-Young's bed. Her thin blue fingers tapped on the arm of the chair as she considered her answer. We evolved on a world with few natural predators and stable weather. Our bodies had no need to develop fast healing. Instead, we developed long lives and strong minds. She paused. The average Talon lives for about 300 of your Earth years. 300 years? Bo-Ra's eyes widened. That's amazing. Humans typically live less than 100 years. Different evolutionary paths, Dr. Hak-Su said as he entered the room. Both with advantages. Dr. Nara stood to greet him. Over the past days, the 2 doctors had spent many hours together, sharing medical knowledge and comparing notes on their species. I've brought the samples you requested, Hak-Su said, holding up a small container. Blood from 5 different Humans? All healthy? All volunteers? Thank you. Dr. Nara took the container carefully. This will help us understand the diversity within your species. Dae-Young shifted in his bed, wincing slightly. When can I start moving around more? I feel fine sitting, but Dr. Hak-Soo won't let me walk yet. Another day of rest, Hak-Soo said firmly. Then short walks only. Dr. Nara made a soft musical sound that the humans had learned was laughter. Your species is as impatient as it is, resilient. The wound went completely through your chest just 3 days ago. And now it's healing, Dae-Young said. No point in wasting time. While the doctors continued their discussion, Bo-Ra's communicator beeped. She listened for a moment, then looked up with concern. Captain Jin-Ho needs to speak with all of us. He's on his way here with the Talon leader. The room grew quiet. First contacts between species were delicate. Despite the friendly scientific exchange of the past 3 days, everyone knew how easily things could go wrong. 10 minutes later, Captain Jin-Ho entered the medical bay with the Talon leader, whose name was too difficult for humans to pronounce. They had been calling him Director, which he accepted with good grace. How is our patient today? Jin-Ho asked, nodding to Dae-Young. Ready to get back to work, sir, the security officer replied. Good, because we may need everyone soon. The captain's face was serious. Director has shared some concerning information. The Talon leader stepped forward. He was taller than Dr. Nara, and his blue skin had darker markings that showed his high rank. We have been honest about our research mission here, the director said, but not about why we chose this particular moon. We are studying a rare mineral found in these rocks that has unique properties. What kind of properties? Dr. Hak-Soo asked. It affects cellular structures, Dr. Nara answered for her leader. We hoped it might help us with our condition. Bo-Ra looked confused. What condition? The director and Dr. Nara exchanged looks. Finally, the director nodded, giving permission to explain. Our species is dying, Dr. Nara said simply. For the past century, our children have been born with weaker bodies. Each generation lives shorter lives than the one before. We don't know why. A genetic decline? Dr. Hak-Soo suggested. Yes. Our scientists believe it's because our world was too safe, too perfect. Our bodies never needed to fight, to adapt, to become stronger. Dr. Nara looked at Dae-Young. The opposite of your evolution. The room was quiet as the humans absorbed this information. It was Captain Jin-Ho who broke the silence. And the mineral on this moon? It has properties that can stimulate cellular regeneration, the director explained. We hoped it might help reverse our decline. But so far, our experiments have failed. The mineral is not compatible with our biology. Dr. Hak-Soo's eyes widened with understanding. That's why you've been so interested in human healing. You think our regenerative abilities might help your people. Yes, Dr. Nara admitted. When I saw how quickly Dae-Young began to heal from a wound that would kill one of us, I realized humans might hold the key we've been seeking. Captain Jin-Ho looked thoughtful. This changes the nature of our contact. You're not just researchers. You're looking for a cure for your people. We are both, the director said. But yes, finding a solution to our decline is our greatest priority. Would your people consider helping us? A formal scientific exchange? Before Jin-Ho could answer, an alarm began to sound throughout the Talon facility. A voice spoke in the musical Talon language, too fast for the humans to understand even with their translators. The director's face showed alarm. We must go to the control room immediately. What's happening? Jin-Ho asked as they all hurried from the medical bay. Even Dae-Young got up, ignoring Dr. Hak-Soo's protests. A large asteroid has entered the moon's gravitational field, Dr. Nara explained as they rushed through the corridors. It's on a collision course with our facility. In the control room, Talon technicians worked frantically at their stations. A large screen showed the path of the asteroid, a rock nearly 100 meters wide moving fast toward the moon. Impact in 40 minutes, one of the technicians reported. Direct hit on the northern section of our facility. Can we evacuate? the director asked. Not everyone. Our transport ships are in maintenance. We have room for half our personnel. At most, Captain Jin-ho stepped forward. Our shuttle can take some of your people, but it's small. The director nodded in thanks. We must begin evacuation immediately. Priority to essential personnel and research data. As the Talons began their evacuation procedures, Bo-Ra moved closer to Dr. Nara. What about the research on the mineral? And your medical samples? They must be saved, Dr. Nara said firmly. They represent our best hope for saving our species. Dr. Hak-Soo joined them. I'll help you pack the medical samples. Dae-young, you should go back to the shuttle. You're still recovering. The security officer shook his head. I can help with evacuation. I know our shuttle systems better than anyone. As the humans and Tylons worked together to prepare for the asteroid impact, Dr. Nara found a moment to speak privately with Dr. Hak-Soo. If we survive this, she said quietly, I believe our meeting was meant to be. Your species' strength and our species' wisdom could accomplish great things together. Dr. Hak-Soo nodded. First, we have to survive. Let's focus on that. Outside the facility, through the observation windows, they could see the purple sky of the moon darkening as the massive asteroid approached, bringing with it an unexpected test of the new friendship between humans and Talons. The sound of the asteroid impact was deafening. The entire moon seemed to shake, throwing people to the floor. Lights flickered and alarms blared throughout the Talon facility. Damage report, the director called out once the initial shaking stopped. A Talon technician struggled to read the damaged screens. North section completely destroyed, east section badly damaged, life support systems failing in multiple areas. Captain Jin-ho helped Bo-Ra to her feet. How many people did we get evacuated? 12 Talons on their transport, 8 more on our shuttle, Bo-Ra reported. That leaves 19 Talons and the 4 of us still here. Dr. Hak-Soo looked up from where he was checking Dae-young for new injuries. The security officer had fallen hard during the impact but insisted he was fine. We need to get to the medical bay, Hak-Soo said. There will be injuries. As if to prove his point, the doors to the control room slid open, and 2 Talons helped a third inside. The injured Talon had a deep cut on its leg, and its blue blood flowed freely. Dr. Nara rushed to help. The medical bay is closer to the impact site. It may be damaged. We should set up treatment here. I'll get my kit from our temporary quarters, Hak-Soo said, already moving toward the door. I'll come with you, Dae-young insisted, pushing himself to his feet despite his recent injury. The director approached Captain Jin-ho. Our sensors detect more asteroids coming. This wasn't a random event, it's a meteor shower. We have maybe an hour before the next major impact. Can we contact the Pathfinder or the evacuated shuttles? Jin-ho asked. Communications are down, a technician reported. The main antenna was in the north section. We need to repair it, Bo-Ra said. I can help if we can reach the backup systems. The director nodded. Take 2 of my technicians. The backup communications center is in the west section, which is still intact. As Bo-Ra left with the Talon technicians, more injured began to arrive at the control room. Dr. Nara worked quickly, but struggled with the volume of patients. Dr. Hak-Soo and Dae-young returned with medical supplies just in time. The hallways had been dark and filled with smoke, slowing their journey. 6 with serious injuries, 4 with minor injuries so far, Dr. Nara reported as Hak-Soo joined her. But our medical supplies were mostly destroyed in the impact. Hak-Soo opened his kit. We'll work with what we have. Dae-young, help us move these tables to make treatment areas. Despite his own injury, Dae-young worked tirelessly, helping to arrange the control room into a makeshift hospital. The humans and Talons worked side by side caring for the wounded. Dr. Nara watched in amazement as Dr. Hak-Soo treated both humans and Talons, adapting his techniques for the alien physiology. You learn quickly, she said as they worked together on a Talon with a chest injury. Medicine is about adaptation, Hak-Soo replied, carefully applying a bandage to the blue skin. The principles are often the same, even if the details differ. An hour passed. Bo-Ra returned with news that they had fixed the backup communication system. We've contacted both shuttles and the Pathfinder. They can't land until the meteor shower passes, which could be up to 10 hours. Some of these patients won't last that long without proper medical care, Dr. Nara said quietly to Dr. Haksu, especially the ones with internal injuries. Haksu looked around at the wounded Talons. Their transparent blue skin made it easier to see the damage inside, broken blood vessels, damaged organs, and he could see something else. They weren't healing like humans would. The wounds looked just as fresh as when they'd first been injured. Your people really don't heal quickly at all, do you? He asked Dr. Nara. No. Our cellular regeneration is extremely slow. Her three eyes blinked in their sequential pattern. It's why injuries like these are so dangerous for us. Captain Jin Ho joined them, his face grim. We have another problem. Life support is failing throughout the facility. Oxygen levels are dropping and temperature control is unstable. The director, who had been helping with the injured, looked up. The main systems are in the damaged east section. We could try to repair them, but it would be dangerous. I'll go, Dae-Young said immediately. I have engineering training. Dr. Haksu frowned. You're still recovering from a serious injury, I don't think. That's why I should go, Dae-Young interrupted. You've all seen how well humans heal. I'm stronger than I look right now. Dr. Nara studied him with her three eyes. He's right. Even injured, his body is more resilient than any of ours, but he shouldn't go alone. I'll go with him, offered a Talon technician who had been helping with the communications repair. I know the life support systems well. As Dae-Young and the technician prepared to leave, Dr. Haksu pulled him aside. Be careful. Just because you're healing well doesn't mean you're invincible. I know, Dae-Young said with a small smile. But someone has to do this, and I'm the best option we have. After they left, the situation in the makeshift hospital grew worse. 2 more injured Talons arrived, both in critical condition. The oxygen levels continued to drop, making everyone lightheaded and slow. We need to prioritize, Dr. Nara said, to Haksu. Some of these patients need surgery we can't perform here with limited supplies. Haksu nodded, thinking quickly. What about the mineral you've been studying? You said it affects cellular structures. Could it help speed up Talon healing? Dr. Nara's eyes widened. Possibly, but it's never worked in our experiments. The mineral is too aggressive for our cells. It destroys them instead of helping them regenerate. But human cells are different, Haksu said, an idea forming. What if we combine the mineral with human blood? My blood contains factors that promote rapid healing. If we could find a way to make it compatible with Talon physiology. It's risky, Dr. Nara said. We've never attempted cross-species blood mixing. Do we have a choice? Your people are dying and help is hours away. The Talon doctor was quiet for a moment, then nodded. The research lab is in the south section. It should still be intact. I have samples of the mineral there, and equipment we could use. I'll go with you, Haksu said. Captain Jin Ho can supervise here. As they made their way through the damaged corridors, Dr. Nara explained more about the mineral. We call it renewal stone in our language. It has properties that can accelerate cellular activity. In the right concentration, it might work as you suggest. The research lab was untouched by the asteroid impact, but the power was out. They worked by emergency lighting, using Haksu's portable medical scanner and Dr. Nara's knowledge of the mineral. I'll need to draw some of my blood, Haksu said, preparing a syringe from his kit. Then we can try combining it with small amounts of the mineral to see if it creates a stable compound. Dr. Nara watched as he drew his own blood. You would do this for beings you met just days ago? That's what doctors do, Haksu replied simply. We help those in need, regardless of where they come from. They worked quickly, mixing tiny amounts of the crushed mineral with Haksu's blood. Dr. Nara used a microscope to observe the reaction. The human blood cells are absorbing the mineral, she said in wonder. They're not being destroyed like ours were. They're incorporating it. A sudden explosion shook the facility again. The lights went out completely, leaving them in darkness except for the small emergency light on Haksu's medical scanner. Another impact, Dr. Nara said fearfully. We need to get back to the others. Not yet, Haksu insisted. We're close to something important. Let's finish this first. As they continued their desperate work, neither of them knew if Dae-Young had succeeded in repairing the life support systems, or if another, larger asteroid was already on its way to the moon's surface. The emergency lights flickered back on in the research lab. Dr. Haksu looked up from the microscope with relief. Dae-Young must have fixed the power systems, he said. Dr. Nara checked her equipment. Life support is coming back online too. Oxygen levels are rising. They had been working for 2 hours on their experiment, mixing human blood with the Talon mineral. After many failed attempts, they had finally created a stable mixture. I think this will work, Haksu said, holding up a small vial of reddish-blue liquid. The mineral has bonded with proteins in my blood that promote healing. In theory, it should be compatible with Talon physiology now. It's still experimental, Dr. Nara cautioned. We should test it thoroughly before. A loud alarm interrupted her. The facility's computer spoke in the Talon language, but the tone was clearly urgent. What's happening? Haksu asked. Dr. Nara's 3 eyes widened with fear. Another large asteroid. Impact in 20 minutes. Much bigger than the first one. Will the facility survive? No. This one will destroy everything. Dr. Nara gathered their research materials quickly. We must get to the emergency shelter on the lower level. They hurried through the corridors, carrying their experimental treatment. When they reached the control room, they found chaos. The injured were being moved on makeshift stretchers. Captain Jin Ho was helping the director organize the evacuation. Dr. Haksu, Bo-Ra called when she saw them. We got a message through to the Pathfinder. They're sending shuttles, but they won't arrive for at least an hour. Too late, the director said grimly. The asteroid will hit in less than 20 minutes now. What about the emergency shelter? Dr. Nara asked. It's our only chance, the director replied. We're moving everyone there now. Dae-Young appeared from a side corridor, his face streaked with dirt and sweat. The Talon technician who had gone with him was limping, supported by Dae-Young's shoulder. Life support is stable for now, Dae-Young reported. But we had to bypass several damaged systems. It won't last long. Dr. Haksu approached him. Are you all right? You look exhausted. I'm fine, Dae-Young insisted, though his breathing was labored. The wound is holding. We need to focus on getting everyone to safety. Dr. Nara scanned him with a medical device. Your heart rate is elevated, and there's fluid building in your left lung again. You've pushed yourself too hard. We can worry about that later, Dae-Young said, already moving to help with the injured Talons. The emergency shelter was deep below the facility, accessed by a narrow stairway since the elevators were not working. Moving the injured down the stairs was slow and difficult. 10 minutes until impact, a Talon technician announced as they worked. Captain Jin Ho turned to the director. Will the shelter really protect us from an impact this size? It's designed to withstand severe damage to the facility, the director replied. But this asteroid is larger than anything we planned for. I cannot promise we will survive. As they reached the shelter, Dr. Nara pulled Dr. Haksu aside. We must try our treatment now. Some of the injured won't survive much longer, especially if the shelter is damaged. Haksu nodded. We'll start with the most critical patients. I'll help you administer it. The shelter was a large circular room with reinforced walls. The injured were placed in the center while others secured supplies and equipment. Dr. Nara and Dr. Haksu moved among the wounded Talons, selecting 3 with the most life-threatening injuries. This treatment is experimental, Dr. Nara explained to the first patient, a young Talon with severe internal bleeding. But it may speed your healing. The patient nodded weakly. Dr. Nara injected a small amount of the reddish-blue mixture into the Talon's arm. Dr. Haksu monitored the patient's vital signs with his medical scanner. No negative reaction so far, he reported after a minute. Heartbeat stable. They moved to the second patient, then the third. administering the treatment and monitoring closely. By the time they finished, the countdown to impact had reached 5 minutes. "Everyone, take cover against the inner wall," the director ordered. "Secure yourselves however possible." The humans and Talons pressed against the curved wall of the shelter, bracing for impact. Young helped secure the injured, who couldn't move themselves, ignoring his own discomfort. 2 minutes, someone called out. Dr. Nara found herself next to Young against the wall. "Your species is remarkable," she said quietly. 3 days ago you had a hole through your chest. Now you're helping others despite your pain, Young managed a small smile. "Humans are stubborn. We don't like to give up." 1 minute. Captain Jin-ho had positioned himself near Bo-Ra, ready to shield her if necessary. Dr. Hak-Soo was still checking the patients who had received the experimental treatment. 30 seconds. "Look," Dr. Hak-Soo suddenly called out, pointing to one of the treated Talons. "The wound is changing." Despite the imminent danger, Dr. Nara moved to see. The Talon's severe internal bleeding, visible through their transparent skin, was indeed changing. The damaged blood vessels were visibly repairing themselves, much faster than normal Talon healing. "It's working," she whispered in amazement. "The human blood factors combined with the mineral are accelerating our healing process." 10 seconds. Brace for impact. There was no more time to observe the miracle of healing. Everyone held tight to whatever they could grab as the countdown reached 0. The impact was even more violent than the first. The entire moon seemed to jump. The shelter walls held, but the floor cracked in places. Equipment crashed down from shelves and several people were thrown across the room despite their preparations. When the initial shaking stopped, they found themselves in darkness. The emergency lights had failed completely. "Is everyone all right?" Captain Jin-ho called out into the blackness. Voices answered from around the room, some pained, some merely shaken. Dr. Hak-Soo activated the light on his medical scanner, providing a small circle of illumination. "The patients," Dr. Nara said immediately. "We must check the patients." In the dim light of the scanner, they found the 3 Talons who had received the treatment. Incredibly, all were conscious and showing signs of improvement. The young Talon with internal bleeding was sitting up, touching the area that had been damaged with wonder on his face. "The pain is less," he said, "and I can feel something happening inside. It's warm." More lights appeared as others found emergency lamps. In the growing illumination, Dr. Nara examined all 3 patients. "This is unprecedented," she said, her voice filled with excitement despite their dangerous situation. "They're healing at nearly human rates. The treatment works." The director approached, limping from a new injury to his leg. "Is this true? You found a way to enhance our healing?" "It seems so," Dr. Hak-Soo confirmed. "The combination of human blood factors and your mineral creates a catalyst for Talon cellular regeneration." A crackling sound came from Bo-Ra's communicator. She adjusted it, trying to clear the static. "This is the Pathfinder," a voice finally came through. "We've detected the impact. Is anyone alive down there? Please respond." "We're here," Bo-Ra replied immediately. "The emergency shelter held. We have survivors, including all 4 humans." "Good news," the voice responded. "Rescue shuttles will reach your location in 40 minutes. Can you hold out that long?" The director took the communicator from Bo-Ra. "This is the Talon director. We will survive until your arrival. And..." He looked at Dr. Nara and Dr. Hak-Soo. "We have made a discovery that may save more than just those in this shelter. It may save our entire species." As they waited for rescue, Dr. Nara administered the treatment to more of the injured Talons. Every case showed the same remarkable improvement. Dr. Hak-Soo sat beside Young, finally treating his worsening condition. "It began with your injury," Dr. Nara said to Young as she helped Hak-Soo treat him. "What seemed like a tragic accident has led to a breakthrough that might save my people. Sometimes good comes from bad situations," Young replied weakly. Captain Jin-ho joined them. "When we return to Earth, I'll recommend a permanent scientific mission to work with the Talons. This could be just the beginning of what our species can learn from each other." The director nodded in agreement. From this day forward, humans will be known among Talons as the species that heals. Not just themselves, but others too. As the rescue shuttles approached the moon, Dr. Nara looked around at the humans who had changed her understanding of what was possible, especially Dae Young, whose body had healed from what she had believed was a fatal wound. What amazes me most, she said to Dr. Hak-Soo, is not just that humans can heal from terrible injuries, but that you consider such healing ordinary. Dr. Hak-Soo smiled. Perhaps that's the real strength of humanity. Not that we heal, but that we expect to heal. And so we do, the end.